hasn't been 6 months yet. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's me. Welcome back. So today we are, we're talking about the unofficial SH Monsterarts survey again. Because yeah, as the title implies, the survey is in trouble. In spite of the video that I put up last time, which should have been, I think that was December. In spite of that video having little over 400 views, the amount of people that took the survey was 15. And it's been stuck at 15 for a week now. I will admit, in the previous videos, I concentrated more on the topic at hand and did a terrible job at selling my SH Monsterarts survey. Hence this video. So yeah, today I'm going to be giving you the what, the why, and the when it comes to my SH Monsterarts survey. Because I definitely think I did not sell it as well I should have in those previous videos. It's just kind of like, yeah, here's the survey. Go take it. So yeah, we're going to be covering the survey today in terms of, what you can expect in it. Show Monsterarts surveys. So why am I doing this survey to begin with? Aren't there already official SH Monsterarts surveys available? Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. Alright, so I've done this like twice already, so I'm gonna try and do this in a single breath. I've been collecting SH Monsterarts since the line started back in 2011, and over the years I had anticipations and expectations for the line, but in recent years I felt Tamashii Nations hasn't been handling the line as well as I'd hoped they would. And with the rising competition, specifically Hiya Toys stepping in, my criticisms reached a new level with the SH Monsterarts line, and all that culminated into the video why the SH Monsterarts line needs to change, which brings me to why I'm doing the survey. It is simply to confirm if what folks have been claiming, including my own notions, about the line in the public eye to be true. So yeah, that's why I'm doing the SH Monsterarts survey. So here's one of the major reasons why I want more people to take this survey, and that is to simply confirm the results of the previous survey. So in the previous video, I talked about how there's like two ways you could be viewing the results of the survey, because in the previous survey we got 21 responses, and in the first survey we got 28. So over these past couple of surveys, we've been seeing like a decline in interest as it goes on. In the previous video, I talked about how the results of those first surveys could potentially be a microcosm of what the greater community thinks of the SH Monsterarts line. Here's the only problem with that though. There's only one way to confirm that, and that is if we have a greater data pool that more or less confirms that. And sadly, we don't have that. Even if you were to combine the results of the first survey with the second survey and the 15 results of this survey, that gives us little less than 65 results, I think. Which, kind of brings up more reason why we need to just get as many responses in this specific survey. Because if this survey manages to get 100 responses, and depending on what those responses are, we can more or less confirm the results of the other responses. Like if the previous surveys were indeed a microcosm of the greater collecting community, and this survey does really well and gets like 100 or 200, like thinking really optimistically here, like anywhere over 100 responses, then we can say with absolute confidence that those previous surveys were in fact microcosms. However, if the results of this survey are different from the previous surveys, then we'll figure it out. It's like the whole point of the survey is to confirm as much information as possible. Now, of course, there's going to be some of you that are going to look at the survey and simply go, this isn't an official survey. Why should I bother taking the survey? And to that I say, there are 3 good reasons why you should take my survey. Also, I should probably note, just because I'm saying you should take my survey, I'm not also saying you shouldn't take the official surveys, but here's like some of the major reasons why I think you should take my surveys. Alright, so number 1 is the product surveys. So Steven has brought this to my attention in some of his unboxing videos, stating that the product surveys are available outside of Japan. Now, I've went to the link that was put in the instructions that he showcased in his unboxing videos. I scanned the QR code, which took me to the same link, and I selected the Monsterarts surveys, and then I selected SH Figuarts surveys, Robot Spirits, any Bandai item that was available on that page. And it took me to the same page as before. The product surveys, at least here where I am in Canada, are not available. But what about you? So I've left a link to the product surveys in the description below. So if you want to give them a shot, see if they're available in your location, go right ahead. But the fact of the matter is that the product surveys will probably not be available in your given location. I mean, if you're in Canada, RIP us again, I guess. But apparently, if you're in the States, then they should work. Yeah, the product surveys are available, but they're not available to all of us. And sure, there's like the conversation of VPNs, but not everyone is going to have a VPN. Considering the stuff that I've been covering, I'm really looking into investing in one. But for now, it's like, yeah, I don't have a VPN, and a good number of people also don't have VPNs, so the product surveys are not available to them.
Hey, so I made a mistake. More specifically, I overlooked something. So I went back to the Tamashi survey website, and it turns out there is an option for people outside of Japan. It is literally one of the first things that's right there. I've overlooked it, and I tested it out myself, and I can confirm that the survey is internationally available. So, yeah, everything that I said about the product surveys not being available is a whole lot of hogwash. However, with this in mind, the points that I made about the survey results not being revealed publicly still stands. So, yeah, but yeah, this is great though. The product surveys are indeed available for people outside of Japan. So yeah, just click on answering from outside Japan for foreign people, and there you go. So yeah, as I stated, link will be in the description, and yeah, good luck.
So that brings us to reason number 2, which is the official surveys. Now, these are actually internationally available, as I stated in the previous video and the video before that. However, in the first video, why the SH Monsterarts line needs to change, I've stated how those surveys are very inconsistent when it comes to their releases. Now, sure, in 2024, that was the first time Tamashii Nations managed to release 2 surveys, not only within the same year, but within the span of 6 months, which is really good. However, this doesn't necessarily guarantee us another survey in 6 months, because who knows, maybe it will be another dry spell, maybe in 2025 we will not get another survey like that up until 2026 maybe, or 2027. Honestly, there's a lot we don't know. Like, I'm not a mind reader. I don't work for Bandai. I can't tell you when the next survey releases, so who knows? Maybe the next official survey will come out within 6 months, or it will come out next year, or the year after that. I honestly cannot tell you with confidence when the next survey will come out. All I could tell you is that we might get a survey in 6 months, or we might get it within the next 12 months. It's just so inconsistent, and there's no real pattern to it, so yeah. And of course there's going to be like discussion of, oh, but they put one out during San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, and there was also that year where they didn't put one out for San Diego Comic-Con, which left this 1 year gap between surveys that we, the international fans, were able to take. So yeah, there's a lot of inconsistencies with that. And on top of it, add to these official surveys, there's also a time limit. So the thing about these surveys is they usually last about a week. I think the first one in San Diego Comic-Con of 2024, that was put out on the 25th of July, I think, and then lasted until the 2nd of August. I'll leave images up to more or less confirm what I'm saying. So that was a little more than a week or so. And I think the same thing also applied to the new survey that released during the Tamashii Nations event back in November of 2024. And I remember it saying that this survey will only last for a week. So yeah, there is that too. However, I try to use the Wayback Machine to really confirm what that survey said, but it's just bringing up a blank page. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, there's no real way of predicting when these surveys will release, and when they do release, we have a time limit of at least a week. And then after that time limit is up, that survey isn't available anymore. And from the previous SH Monsterarts survey that I did, I asked the question of how many people managed to take the survey, and if you didn't take the survey, could you explain why? And the fact that, let's say that it's true that my surveys were a microcosm of the greater fan community, the fact that almost half the people that took my survey didn't take the official survey is a huge problem, alright? Especially if what's being potentially claimed that my survey results are a microcosm of the greater community. That's a huge problem, because you have this survey that gives people the opportunity to voice what they want to see in the SH Monsterarts line, and almost half of them just didn't take it, either because they were aware of it but just didn't have the time to take it, or they were just completely unaware of it, which shows that there is indeed a communication problem between Tamashii Nations and their fans. Because these surveys are really important. I'd argue that these surveys are what make or break the SH Monsterarts line, what ends up getting made and what doesn't get made. So yeah, the fact that almost half the people that took my survey didn't manage to take the official survey is a problem, in my opinion. And if anything, my survey actually highlights this, and if anything, I'm just trying to see if there is a potential solution of having more people aware of these official surveys. Because, as soon as they're gone, that's it. You don't have another chance until the next official survey comes out. And as I explained in the initial SH Monsterarts video that I did, the 3-hour one, again, I'm so sorry about that, we don't know when we'll get another official survey. So, yeah, that's reason number 2. And finally, reason number 3, and this is probably the biggest reason of all: the results of the official surveys are usually never revealed. So, Tamashii Nations has put themselves in this very convenient position where when they release these official surveys, they usually don't reveal the survey results. So it puts them in this very convenient position where the figures that they make could easily be explained as, oh, this is one of the most requested figures according to the survey. However, we don't have the survey results. Like, sure, Tamashii Nations is under Bandai. Bandai also owns the Movie Monster series, and the Movie Monster series does these really fun events where they reveal the survey results. But the SH Monsterarts line isn't the Movie Monster series. So will we see results of these surveys being revealed? Probably not. Which brings me to my surveys. So I've been doing this for half a year now, more or less, and I've taken it upon myself to reveal the results of my surveys. And this is more or less, to go back to the original point as to why I'm doing this, is to confirm what is being stated. It's to confirm my own preconceived notions about the SH Monsterarts line. It's to confirm what other people have stated about the SH Monsterarts line. It's all about putting emphasis on what we, the fans, want to see in the SH Monsterarts line. Those are my 3 reasons why you should take my survey, even though it's not an official survey. My survey is open to the general public and international fans, unlike the product surveys. This will last a lot longer than the official surveys, which those ones lasted like a week or so, and they've always been announced like out of the blue, so we have to like scramble to take them before they're inevitably taken down. Meanwhile, my surveys, I'm making this video to tell you that it exists. I'd say that's more than what Tamashii Nations has been doing with their official surveys, and unlike their surveys, which only lasts a week, my previous survey I put up for 1 whole month, and yet in spite of that only got like 21 responses, so damn. And now we have this survey, which I am hoping to keep open for at least 6 months. So you're not going to be receiving any results anytime soon, but at least you have a large enough window to actually take my survey. And of course, the final reason, There will be a follow-up video to this to showcase the results of the survey, to give everyone a bird's eye view as to what the entire community wants to see. So, 1, 2. All right, so let's talk about the actual survey itself, because I've never really kind of showcased it beyond this point. So yeah, let's go through it together and go through some of the questions and explain what the ultimate goal for some of these are. So, as soon as you open the survey, which the link will be down in the description below, or you could check out the previous videos' descriptions because those will also have the same surveys. So, right off the bat, you have the goal of the survey was made to gauge where SH Monsterarts collectors stand with a line recently, mainly to confirm some questions and suspicions on customer satisfaction. And, you have the little warning down here that states the data collected in the survey will be showcased in the video later on. Please click off if you're uncomfortable with this. So yeah, if you're uncomfortable with what your survey results might reveal, which I never really showed individuals' receptions, really. So, yeah, I probably won't do the same for next time. But yeah, if you feel uncomfortable about that, that's completely fine. Feel free to not take the survey. Okay, so first question is simple. Where do you live? North America, South America? This is more or less to confirm a suspicion where it's stated very heavily that the general audience wants, the international fans more or less, one from SH Monsterarts is going to be completely different from those in Japan. Now, it's been stated many times, but the folks of Japan are what SH Monsterarts is really focusing on. So yeah, the fact that Japan is its own option is mainly to confirm whether or not if that's the case, whether people in Japan want completely different product to those internationally. But yeah, thus far I have not had anyone in Japan to take the survey, which is quite the bummer if you tell me. But we did manage to get a few people in Asia to take it, so we're getting close. We're getting close. The next question we have, when did you start collecting the SH Monsterarts line? The reason for this question is pretty simple, is to gauge where people really started, because if you started collecting SH Monsterarts pretty recently, then there's a good chance that you want to see some of the older releases come back, so you would probably have a higher demand of certain repaints being made. But if you're someone like me who started collecting closer to when SH Monsterarts began, so like 2013, 2012, then you probably want to see newer figures being made, figures that haven't had a chance to be made yet. So yeah, that's the main reason why I put this question up, to gauge where people really started collecting SH Monsterarts and kind of cross-reference that with some of the figures they want to see. This is a simple question. Why are you still collecting SH Monsterarts? It's a simple yes or no. And then you have, why do you continue collecting SH Monsterarts, to really gauge with what is that X factor that really makes people come back to SH Monsterarts, even though there's a variety of other companies that have been making figures, a variety of companies that have been making arguably more figures than SH Monsterarts, or actually tackling certain releases that Monsterarts probably wouldn't. So what is that X factor that really brings people back to the SH Monsterarts line rather than exploring other lines? Where do you post your criticisms of SH Monsterarts? This question mainly pertains to what the talking heads, the people that represent SH Monsterarts, comes to, because they state that it's pretty easy to just leave a comment on our Instagram or our Twitter or our Facebook. But my main problem with that is the fact that with social media, there is a risk of certain factors being put into play, like shadow bans, things that make you incapable or make the receiver of your comments incapable of seeing your own responses. And this is more or less to kind of pinpoint where fans really put their criticisms, because then that will just raise the question of where should Tamashii Nations be focusing their efforts when it comes to finding criticisms, or whether Tamashii Nations needs to figure out whether there's a better place to organize criticisms for the SH Monsterarts line. And I'll die on this hill. I think surveys are the way to go. I don't think posting on their accounts are the way to go. Mainly because it's social media nowadays has become quite the cesspit to where those who more or less hold them up is privy to their own views. So, it's like, look no further than Twitter with Elon Musk. That's all I have to say. Okay, now I've mentioned this in the video. Did you fill out the official survey? Yes, no. If you did not, please fill out why. Again, we need to figure out how to get this survey out to more people so they could see it. But yeah, it's like, the whole point of this is to more or less try and figure out how Tamashii Nations could make the survey more visible to more people. Okay, now we have the simple question of which IP do you prioritize collecting in the SH Monsterarts line, and which IP would you like to see more from the SH Monsterarts line, and this has all the IPs that are currently available in the SH Monsterarts line. So yeah, there's that. What's your personal stance on repaints? This is mainly to gauge where people, whether they want to see more repaints or if they want to see less repaints, or if they're indifferent about repaints. Personally for me, I don't like repaints too much. I think they've taken a good majority of the line, and I would just like to just get it over with, give us more Showa, give us more Millennium, just make the full roster of Godzilla monsters. Now we have what do you prioritize in repaints? This is just simply to see what people would like to see more in repaints. Do you want to see better quality control? Do you want to see more accessories? Do you want to see new engineering? Do you want to see fixed molds? Etc., etc. Are you willing to pay more or less for repaints? Yeah, I'm really going for repaints, but yeah, this is just mainly to confirm where people stand with repaints for these past 3 questions. Alright, so this is more or less to go over the history of SH Monsterarts. What figures do you like the most, and what figures do you dislike the most, along with the question, why did you select the following figures? This is mainly to showcase some of the strengths and weaknesses of SH Monsterarts, and where they should focus their efforts, and where they should, just concentrate in other areas, and why they should concentrate in those other areas. Okay, now we have the simple question of what other figure lines do you collect. This is mainly to see where other people just kind of go to for other figures. Because again, as big as SH Monsterarts is trying to be, there's only so much they could make that other figure lines would have to step in and more or less compensate. And of course we have, if you were to add an IP to the SH Monsterarts line, what would it be? And most of these are from the pre-existing surveys that Monsterarts has been putting out. So you have Rebirth of Mothra, Disney, Resident Evil, Magic the Gathering, Dragon Quest, Pokemon, Digimon, Jaws, Stranger Things, Jurassic Park, and Pacific Rim. This is more or less to see, more or less to confirm what other audiences want to see from the SH Monsterarts line. But yeah, this is like a question that they presented. So I was just curious to see what other IPs would collectors like to see in the SH Monsterarts line. And of course you have, are there any other IPs you'd like to see in the SH Monsterarts line that were not listed above? Because again, there's only so much SH Monsterarts themselves could cover, but they can't cover everything. For the Godzilla line, which era would you like to see the most from, or which era would you like to see the less from? So this question has been changed a little bit between the 2 surveys that I made, because now I have added TriStar, or Godzilla 1998, along with the Godzilla animated series. Mainly because people have stated how much they want to see a Godzilla 98 or a Zilla figure to be made, so yeah, I just added that in. So yeah, this is again to more or less just figure out what eras people want to see more of, and what eras people want to see less of, because again, seeing a lot of less of certain eras and a lot more of other eras, just want to confirm what the audience wants to see. And then you have a following question below those saying, why did you select the following eras you wanted to see the most or the less from? And this is more or less to point out why people want to see more from this era, and the responses from the previous survey more or less just point out it's the era that has been represented the least, or there's just not enough of this era. And then when you see, and then it's like it's the opposite with the eras that people wanted to see less from. It's just there's too much of this era is practically complete, etc., etc. So yeah. And of course you have a little bit of a it's Yeah, after 13 years of producing figures, has Monsterarts managed to make your most anticipated slash requested figures? This is more or less to confirm whether the figure that people wanted to see has been made or it hasn't. Which brings us to the next question, the big one. What Godzilla monsters would you like to see next in the SH Monsters line? Now, I've taken upon myself to label certain figures in here as reissues or repaints to more or less communicate to the audience, yes, this figure is already available, because I've seen many times where people assume that certain monsters have been made in the SH Monsterarts line when that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, there's this very prevalent YouTuber, up and coming YouTuber that I've been following. I really like his content and I really like the commentary that he provides, but every now and then when he mentions SH Monsterarts Muto, he's under the assumption that Monsterarts has made a Muto, when technically they did, but it's only the head. It's not a full figure. So yeah, this is more or less to show people, what has been made versus what hasn't been made. If you want to see the results of the previous surveys, they're available in the previous videos. So yeah, it's like, can I really say I'm surprised as to how this part of the survey played out? No, I'm not surprised at all. It's funny. People want to see more of what hasn't been made yet. What a big surprise! Whoa! Was there a Godzilla monster missing on the list you'd like to see in the SH Monsters line? Now, this is mainly for your Gemstone Godzillas, your Baggins, your Super Godzillas, just releases that are really out there. That also, if you noticed in the listing of all the monsters, between Showa to the modern era, a lot of the MonsterVerse monsters aren't in there. So yeah, that's another reason for the little write down your most anticipated monster, because yeah, I've seen several people who want to see a Muto Prime, who may want to get a pack of Wart Dogs, or even a Drowned Viper, and who knows, maybe other variants of Godzilla, like Hanna-Barbera Godzilla, or Marvel Godzilla, or some of the monsters that Marvel Godzilla fought. It's like, whatever you want to see in the SH Monsterarts line, or figure lines in general, just, so yeah, if you do want to see releases like those, then feel free to fill them out in this one question. Personally, I don't think Tamashii Nations will really cover, but it's always fun to see what people would like to see outside of the obvious subjects. And then you have more or less a similar question as before. After 13 years, do you like what SH Monsters managed to provide? Yes, no, indifferent. Why do you select the following answer on the previous question? Mainly to just hit that home with people. And of course you have the final question, which is, did the videos why the SH Monsters line needs to change, or the results are in SH Monsters follow-up, affect any of your answers on the survey? Now this is mainly to see if I generally had an effect, which I really hope I don't. I don't want to project my own experiences with the SH Monsters line onto others. Mainly because that would just taint the data pool, and I just generally want to see what fans think of the SH Monsters line without my intervention. Which kind of brings me to another thing. Like, if you're taking the survey and you're a fan of the Heisei era, but you're seeing me going, oh no, Heisei needs to stop, there's too much Heisei, blah blah blah, don't let that stop you from voting Heisei as an era you want to see more of, or a certain Heisei monster you want to see in the SH Monsters line. Because at the end of the day, this is all about seeing where fans really stand with the SH Monsters line. So if you're someone who wants to see more Heisei, and Monsters ends up making more Heisei, then that's a good thing. That's saying that SH Monsters is listening to fans and providing them with more of what they want. So that's the whole point of the survey, is to more or less confirm what SH Monsterarts is putting out are the figures that fans generally want to see. Okay, so we're gonna round this video down because, yeah, surprise, surprise, there are other videos that I really want to make. I forgot to turn off the recorder. Oh, that gave me a heart attack for a minute. Oh. Before we go, I also want to give a little shout out to Stephen Toy Reviews, who has put out 2 videos that I'm pretty interested in. One of them is how Bandai kind of let down the Monsterverse, which I think is about time we finally got down to that, because we've heard the jokes, alright? We've seen how Tamashii Nations and Bandai in general has handled the Monsterverse. I think it's about time we finally get to questioning their bias towards the Monsterverse and their innate favoritism towards the Heisei era. Because again, like I talked about this in the previous video, and this is how I feel about basically anything. If you're going to play favorites and going to, shove certain eras to the sideline, like, seriously, just stop. So yeah, that's one video. Another video is involving some shenanigans with Spiral Studios involving their licenses, which finally answers one of the questions that I made in the previous video on how Godzilla licenses really work. So that really clears the picture. I highly suggest you guys check that video out to give you a clearer picture as to how certain figure companies approach Toho and what Toho solicits to these figure lines, and kind of gives you an idea of the how big the Godzilla license is and how things work. So yeah, that like clears the air a bit for me, and answers one of the questions of the initial video that I put out. Oh my gosh! So yeah, I'm really glad for that. So Steven, thank you so much for that video. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, that is just one mystery behind Godzilla figure making that is now not a mystery anymore. So I'm really glad for that. Thank you, honestly. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing a part 2 of his Bandai vs. Monsterverse videos, because again, just like, yeah, so stay tuned for that, I guess. But yeah, definitely keep a close eye on Steven, because some of his videos, while I think some of them do lean a little harshly, others I think he does present some valid questions that genuinely do need answers. So yeah. Okay, so a couple of things to emphasize here. So in the first video, the why the SH Monsters needs to change, I've explained how one of the reasons why I disable comments is because I don't want people to comment their answers on the survey. I cannot emphasize that enough. Mainly because when I put out the first survey, guy commented on what he wanted to see in the SH Monsterarts line, but then I noticed he himself didn't take the survey, because again, there were only 28 people. I would have noticed if one extra person managed to take the survey, which they did not. So I can't emphasize this enough. The whole reason why the survey is up is to confirm what you want to see in the SH Monsterarts line, along with the collector beside you, along with everyone else that watches this video. I want to know your personal opinions about the SH Monsterarts line, but I cannot do that if you do not take this survey. And of course, there's going to be a couple of people that will go. I hope that the rest of the community will have my back on this. I hope they have these same ideas as I do. There's a good chance that's not the case. There have been many times where I have placed my faith in those who are capable of voting in the official surveys to vote for the things that I want to see in the SH Monsterarts line. Go back to the first video and you'll see me talking about how Shin Godzilla Oreo version managed to win out on the gemstone versions of Godzilla, Megalon, Gigan, etc., etc. So yeah, if you... so... all I have to say is just please take the survey. Just please take the time to take the survey. It shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes to complete. But yeah, it's like, I just really want to see where the fans really stand with the SH Monsterarts line. And that's the whole point of doing this. It's just gotten to the point where I'm just done with SH Monsterarts and some of the things that they have been doing. Now sure, one of my most requested figures has been made, and arguably 3 of the top 10 most requested figures are about to be made. However, I don't really have the data to really prove that, nor did Tamashi Nations reveal their own data to really confirm that too. So, yeah. And even then, if we were to say that, then we also need to contend with the fact that Burning Godzilla is here. Again, watch the previous video if you really want to know what's going on with that one. But yeah, it's like, please just take the time to take the surveys. So what will happen if the survey fails? Well, I'm just gonna not do it anymore, because if the fandom is not really privy or interested in taking the survey to really know what's going on with the collecting community, then why should I keep continuing it? Why should I just keep bringing in just classroom-sized results when there's nothing to show for it? So yeah, it's like, if this survey fails, then I'm just going to completely scrap the plan, which, in case you don't know, the original plan of the survey was to release a survey once every 6 months to more or less track what the collecting community wants to see from SH Monsterarts. However, if we don't get more than 100 responses with each of those surveys, then there's no real reason to continue this little experiment. So yeah, it's really important that you guys take the survey. But yeah, I guess that's everything I need to say. To the 15 people that took this survey currently, personally, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time to take my survey. Hopefully this time around it'll be more successful and we manage to get what we're looking for. We managed to get the data pool that we need. And if you're the 100 or so people in the previous video that didn't take the survey, or the 700 people in the first video that didn't take the survey, I really do hope you take the time to take the survey, because I just really want to get to the bottom of this. I really want to confirm a couple of things and just prove something's right or wrong and just see where things go from there. Because yeah, I think there is something to be taken from this, but yeah, that's it. That's that's the whole video. So yeah, the survey will be available down in the link in the description below. The product survey will also be there in case you're able to take that. But yeah, hopefully this time things will be different. Hopefully we'll get more than 20 results. Hopefully we'll get the 100 or so results that I was hoping for initially. But yeah, that's the video. Please take the survey, and hopefully the next video I make won't be another figure-related video, because I generally have other things that I really wanted to do. So yeah, with all that said, I'll see you all in April or June. One of those months. In one of those months, I'll reveal the results of the survey and whether or not this whole experiment will continue. So yeah, till next time, everybody.